All right, guys, we are back with another episode of Paving the Way, and I did not start it with "Aw, shit, here we go again," but it was coming out of my mouth, and we decided not to do that, but we did it anyways because that's what we do here. So, as you can see, if you see the topic on the show, we are talking about sales. So we're going to get a little bit more tactical, a little bit more specific, and a little bit more in the weeds of what we do day in and day out. So let's get started. Welcome back. I know Kelsey loves the intro so much here. She was jamming out on the table while you guys were jamming out in your car or on your walk or whatever you're doing right now, listening to it. But no, guys, I wanted to have Kelsey hop on. It's been a minute since she's been on here with me. I mean, heck, the last one I just put out last week was the first one I've done in a while. So she was finishing up here at the office, and I said, "Hey, come take a seat at this table and let's have a conversation in front of some microphones and a camera." And she said, "What are we talking about?" I said, "Great question." So, no, like I said, I wanted to talk about sales. And one of the reasons I want to get you involved on the conversation is because as the vice president of the company, the director of everything, the total boss, you have been really helping a lot more with sales development. Yep. As far as like our strategies, our tactics, and things like that, kind of a daily thing. More like the inside sales, like we've talked about it, like the difference between inside and outside sales. So it's not that you're out doing all the assessments and meeting with folks, but you have, put a lot more emphasis on trying to build out like our calling strategies and reaching out to existing clients or potentially new clients or things like that. And I guess I just want to kind of get a little bit of information from you that we can share from other people. What is, I guess, your just overall perspective of sales? Like, how would you look at it?
I don't know. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something different. And I guess I just take the perspective when I do call people, it's what's the worst? They're going to say no.
Yeah.
So might as well call them, take your shot, and then see what happens.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I mean, it's definitely can be a little bit of a game, right? Yeah. I mean, it's kind of you want to figure out what the solutions are you're trying to offer, what they need, if it works, like we were just talking about, ideal clients and figuring so it's kind of dating in a way that you're trying to court the clients in a way, and they're trying to court the contractor, us.
Yeah, definitely. So, and I think it's a lot about reading, or I guess you're on the phone, so it's kind of hard to read body language and things like that, but you can tell when someone's just really bored and does not want to have a conversation with you at all.
Yeah.
And like, all right, well, is there someone else I can talk to? On to the next.
Yep. So what would you say, in your opinion, because I know I have my own views and opinions and stuff, what would you say is like the stereotypical description of like a salesperson? Like, well, how do you think of sales?
I think the stereotypical thing is, I think you said it earlier, what sleazy, slimy, take you for all you're worth kind of person. Yep. But I mean, I don't think we're like that here.
We're not?
No.
We don't do that?
No.
What did I say? What was I saying earlier? We don't sell them fast, do it cheap, get the money quick, and run far away.
Yeah, we don't do that.
That's not our sales strategy?
No.
Okay.
Goes against all your core values.
And that's one of those things, I mean, I agree with you. I've always had that opinion of sales, is that it's like that sleazy, slimy used car salesman, whatever it is. Like, and don't get me wrong, I know some people who are used car salesmen that are very nice people, and we've bought used vehicles from awesome people. So it's not saying that that's actually true. That's just the stereotype.
Yeah.
But in the pavement industry specifically, it's something that I learned over the years so paving and roofing are two industries that are known for sleazy sales, like just slimy, sleazy sales. Yeah. And the big reason is because when you put the roof on a building, nobody actually knows how to inspect a roof or can really inspect a roof. So that end user, the client, they don't really know what they're looking for. They don't know what they're getting. They don't know what's underneath the shingles that they put on or the metal or whatever it is, because once it's on, it's on. Same thing with parking lots. Once you put that asphalt down or the concrete down, you don't really know what was done underneath it. it all looks nice and pretty, nice and flat and looks great. And, the stripes look good. Everybody's happy. But then they could have been paying for a 4-inch parking lot and the contractor put down a 1/2 inch, and you'd have no idea unless you cored it or, took samples or things like that. So,
well, I think a lot of that has to do, to eliminate that is education with your clients and building that rapport in your relationship. Mm-hmm. So I think, that's why I've been pushing more with the girls in the office too, of learning about the different things that the guys do in operations, because if you're going to talk to a client, you should be able to answer some questions and like give them feedback of why we do certain things or how we do things. So I think a lot of it is making sure that they're educated on our services or just in general to eliminate that.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. The education side of it, right, is like that's a big part of sales. Is in good sales is educating your clients. And also, I think another thing that people don't look at is you need to be educated as the salesperson of what is that client actually trying to achieve. Because if you're trying to sell this huge project and they're over here saying, hey, I'm just trying to get by for 2 years until we sell this property or whatever it is. Well, you probably should have gotten a little, like taken the time to get educated by the client a little bit more, like ask the questions.
But that also comes back to you as a salesperson. Are you being sleazy and slimy and you're just trying to sell whatever you possibly can to that client? Or are you going to be a good salesperson and educate them and show them, hey, no, I don't think you need this kind of service here. You've got a while. Your parking lot's not bad. I think just a restripe would be good. And you're on you go.
Yeah.
You just lost out on a lot of money throughout that, but you can sleep good at night. And
that's what I've always said. I'd rather have a soft pillow than a fat wallet.
Exactly.
So, I don't mind having a fat wallet as long as the pillow is soft. Right. So it's one of those things, obviously we're in business to make money. That is, I've always said it's a byproduct of, impacting lives and doing the right thing and whatever it is. You do the right thing, you make the money.
Yeah.
You can do the wrong thing and make the money fast, but it ain't going to stay. So if it comes easy and it comes quick, it ain't going to last. And that's something we definitely don't try to go after here. I would say sales in the pavement industry is more about educating. Like you said, It's more about trying to figure out what the solution is that they're looking for, what solution we can offer, and then how those two things intersect. So from a general business standpoint, in the time that you've been working in the company, I'd like to know your perspective on how do you think sales and that aspect, like that kind of like department of a company, how does it like interact with the rest of our organization? So like on a daily basis, like how would you say that sales interacts with the rest of the company?
They're like the middleman in my eyes, because you've got admin over here, you get all the incoming inbound calls. They kind of relay the information to sales. So, hey, I want to do this. I need a restripe over at this property. Let's relay this to sales. Sales works it all up and works with ops. The ops has to come back to sales if they have any questions. So they're that middle person.
Yeah. They kind of keep the wheel greased.
Yeah, just goes like this.
Yep. Yeah. And that's something too, like the way our model is set up is our salespeople, they're not just whining and dining and, shaking hands and kissing babies. Our salespeople, the way our model is it's also set up for you have to go do assessments and estimates and put the numbers together and crunch those things and really work with the client. It's not just, you're not like a business development person.
Yeah.
Right. So the way we're set up currently now, is that something that we want to grow into? Yeah, absolutely. We want to get people where it is going to be business development and their job is to bring people in. And then we have individuals as estimators or the sales reps, whatever it is, to actually like figure out what they're needing and put pricing together and things like that. So it's something that I think is just a lot of misconceptions, right? And I think I have been one person who's had a lot of misconceptions about sales over the years, because I've always said that sales isn't my strong suit. I've always said that I can't stand it, whatever it is. And then like Brandon, one of our estimators, he's always out. He's like, I don't know why you say you're terrible at sales. Like, you can answer all their questions. Like, you're just, so natural when you talk to them. And I think that's one of the misconceptions that we need to debunk, is that sales isn't just about closing. Everybody, Grant Cardone has made it so famous, just close. And it's like, if you freaking educate them right, if you give them a solution that works and a budget that they can afford, you don't need to close them. You just need to Like, hey, what are we doing here?
Build that relationship.
Yeah, you're building a relationship, and you're, like I said, it's no different than dating. You're talking to the girl or the guy. Eventually, you're gonna say, "So, are we gonna go hang out or what?" Or, "So, am I gonna get your number or what?" Like, we've gotten to know each other here. We've had a great conversation. You know about me. I know about you. Where are we going with this? And some people could say, "Well, yeah, you're closing." Like, well, not really. You're just trying to freaking do something here. Like, let's not waste each other's time.
I think it all depends on your perspective on what you think of sales and if it is closing or not.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it could be defined differently. Someone could say, well, yeah, Daniel, you just closed the date, right? You just closed the client because you got them to sign the contract or whatever it might be. I get it, but I think closing, again, it's all these stereotypes. And maybe, who knows, maybe I'm just one making up all these damn stereotypes in my own head, and I'm just the ridiculous one that, looks at sales. Probably, right? It wouldn't be the first time that I'm the only one out on my own little island thinking about shit.
Yep.
But nonetheless, it's a matter of, like I said, it's just bringing to light, because yes, I'm on my own little island thinking about this stuff, but I'm probably not the only person who feels this way. It's just, I'm outspoken about sales. Like, if you ask whether it's, Brian at TCS or whatever it is, like, I've always kind of pushed back about sales, and it's like, we're not a selling company. But then I've also been told that we do a great job selling services. Like, that's what we do, because we educate, because we're well branded, because we are transparent, right? That's another factor of sales, is how transparent are you? And I don't think I have yet to come across another company like ours that is as transparent as we are, from a sales standpoint, from an operations and execution standpoint. Like,
you say more about the communication, or what part of transparency are you talking about within the company?
Yeah, the communication, the transparency. Like, when we're putting proposals together, it's all spelled out by line item. There's other companies out there that just put like lump sum pricing. And so it's just, oh, here's all these things we're going to do for this one price. And yeah, can it be simple? And a lot of times people are just looking at that bottom dollar price. Sure. But we want to be transparent. Like, this is what this part of the project is and how much it costs.
Yeah.
And in this part of the project, this is how much we're going to be doing. It's going to be, 100,000 square feet or 10,000 linear feet of cracks or whatever it may be. So that way there's just that communication and transparency of what they're getting. I mean, heck, we get pricing back from contractors that we work with, and it's just like a price. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, can you give me some details?
What does this entail?
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, I guess we'll work with this and whatnot. But I think that's just part of what we're trying to do here at Proline, though, is try to kind of set that standard. That's something we've gotten feedback from clients, is that our sales process is good. That we are very, very good at communicating. We're very transparent. And same thing with our operations process, is we're very,
I think the whole process, in which we've worked really hard to make sure that process is where it's at. I mean, from start to finish, we do audits and everything else we do just to make sure we're hitting the right things, or how clients with client audits that we do, like JJ calls and just saying, hey, how did everything go? So the feedback, has been great, but I think it's been through trial and error and feedback from clients to make it like perfect.
Yep. I would agree. So what do you think, in your experience, what do you think are characteristics of a good salesperson?
Chill.
Really?
I know you hate that word, but when I say it, but non-pushy, relaxed, like go with the flow personality. No one wants to get a call constantly of like, you got it. Okay. Like, they want to be worked with in, like, I don't know, like they want you to go with the flow. Like, yeah, you've got to push a little bit, but I wouldn't want someone shoving down my neck. Like, come on, make a decision.
Yeah.
You got anything yet?
Yeah, I would agree that, having a little bit of like the ability to kind of be chill about things, and to be laid back, but also still getting stuff done, right? Because you helped implement our sales pipeline at the company. Yep. When you came on, you're like, so what are you doing with all these estimates after you're done with them? I'm like, well, you just check them off.
It was so stressful. It was so stressful.
It wasn't that stressful.
It was very stressful.
It was not that stressful, but we have a better system in place now. But that's what the whole point of it was, though, is you're like, well, how do you know where things are at? Like when
You
it's
did
done.
it. Sorry, it was bad. You didn't. It's okay. It's good now.
Almighty. And this is why she's the total boss.
Oh gosh.
Yep.
Speaking of, I just got what'd you get me? I was really excited about this yesterday.
Oh, you got your business cards.
You got me business cards.
It only took 8 months.
Yeah, a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vistaprint was a little backed up.
So if anyone sees my business cards, I didn't do it. He did. just to put that out there.
Titles are just names.
I know.
They're not that important.
But mine says Kelsey Wright, total boss on it. It's kind of funny. Okay. Anyways.
You were extremely happy about that.
I laughed so hard because I did not think you were going to do that.
Well, you asked, or I asked you, I said, what do you want me to put on it? I said, do you want vice president or total boss or what? And you're like, you can do whatever you want. I said, noted. Got it.
You
Here
did.
we go. Yep.
So when I opened that box and I saw that, I was like, you didn't.
Well,
it made me laugh.
Well, that's good.
So
that's good. I'm sure it'll make somebody else laugh when you're handing out your cards at the next trade show or whatever it is.
Conversation starter.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. So
sorry, I derailed us. What were we talking about?
Characteristics and qualities of a good salesperson, being chill and like laid back. But we were talking about the sales pipeline, because you're talking about like, the following up and this, that, like we didn't really have a follow-up process. And I was always like, I hated it. Like when you implemented that and you said, well, we need to kind of follow up with people and see like what you're doing. And I'm like, well, they'll call us if they want to do it. That's how we've always done it. Like they just call us when they're ready to go forward.
Yep.
And so I did it. Like I was like, all right, we'll start it. And if we're going to start having the other folks, do this, then I'll do it too, obviously. But nonetheless, like I didn't want to be that person trying to shove it down people's throat of like, when are you going to do this? What are you doing? So the follow-up process, in the conversations that I'm a part of about sales and stuff, everybody always wants to like give people a hard time that says, hey, Kelsey, I'm just circling back or just checking in.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got a contrary opinion to that. Who actually freaking cares? Because I promise you, like that client, unless you actually have a relationship outside of the transaction, like the business need, that client knows exactly why you're calling. So when you call to ask how little Tommy's baseball game was, that he talked about 3 months ago, and the guy's like, yeah, Tommy hasn't played baseball in 2 months, season's over, then you just look like an idiot.
No,
so,
I'd be like, oh, dang, how did it go?
Or
did he get a trophy? Like that's what I would
Or
say.
you just don't ask about it at all unless you actually like know the person. Because a lot of the stuff that we do in a lot of businesses, it is more transactional. It is like, hey, like we're working. Yes, we're building a relationship. That's one of our core values. But kind of when you're starting out, like they called you to get a project done.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to waste any more of your time than you don't want to waste mine. So it's like, hey man, like hope you're having a good day. Just wanted to see like where are we at with this, And as long as you make, let me finish. And I'll let you go. So don't lose your thought. As long as you make sure that the follow-up, like that you're checking in about, is genuinely about them. Right. So like I always tell folks like, look, our schedule's starting to book up. I just want to make sure, like you said, this was kind of urgent. Is it still urgent or not? If it's not, no big deal. But I just want to make sure it doesn't slip through the cracks or if we should keep this on our radar, whatever it is. So it's about them making sure that their needs are being met, that they disclose to you. So I think that's where the caveat is. You can be direct and to the point when you're following up and just checking in, but also don't just be like, hey, you got the, like, are you ready yet? No. Yeah. Okay. Bye. So that's my, what were you going to say?
No, I agree with that. I think it also depends how the lead came in. Did they call in and they're just very direct and this is what I need and that's it? Or is this a client that I reached out to? This is totally cold call and I'm trying to like make sure we get what they need to build that relationship. Like, I think it just depends on where that's coming from.
Yeah.
Because I would ask, I mean, that sounds horrible that you have to separate it like that, but usually people, when they call here, they're coming for one specific thing. Like, hey, no, I need my lot restriped or whatever. This is exactly what they need and that's it. If I'm doing cold calls and just trying to gain a client or to see if they need anything and they're like, hey, yeah, I actually have a property over here that needs seal coating. Can you have someone come out on site and do that? Okay. But I might talk to them more, gain that relationship, and they might give me more properties if they remember my name.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I think it's just a little different.
Well, like you said, it just depends on the client.
Yeah.
Because some people are just like, hey, let's not bullshit. Like, let's just get straight to the point. And here's what we need. Can you do this or not? If you can, great. If you can't, next. Mm-hmm. And that's okay too. But that is part of sales, though, is figuring out like, what is this person like? What do they want? Like, we've got one client that I was talking with her actually earlier today about a project that's like almost an hour from here, a property. And we've developed a relationship with her, and she uses this for a lot of things. And so I was like, well, what do you think about like next week? She's like, well, is it like, would it be too short notice to just meet tomorrow? I'm like, I could actually probably make that work, but it's because of the relationship we developed. Yeah. If this was just somebody off the street, I'd be like, well, no, I'm tied up like tomorrow. I can't just drive an hour out of my way just because you happen to be there. But the relationship, like, it is more than just transactional. And so now it has become a two-way thing where she gives us trust and, continuous opportunities. And then we give her a little bit more flexibility with our time and things like that. So building the relationship past the transactional period, I think everyone starts with a transaction. Yeah. Like, it just starts, that's how it goes. But she likes working with us. We like working with her. The guys like everybody's, it's an easy process. And so therefore the relationship is now being developed. So, when I do talk with her, I do ask like, hey, how was your family get together you said you went to last weekend or whatever it was, because there's actually a relationship being developed. Yeah. So it's finding that balance. Like, I think some salespeople try to go into that relationship right off the bat, and then it just comes across as like inauthentic, that you're just trying too hard to be relational. And it's like, just let it happen naturally. Yeah. No, I can see that. You don't go up to the girl in the bar and then say, hey, you want to get married? Like, I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't know if that's ever happened to you. It hadn't happened to me, but no, it's just, you got to let it happen. Like, you just got to like actually like kind of work through the process. Too many people, I think, try to rush it. Yeah. So, but it's okay if just like, okay, hey, that's fine. Just hit me up later. I'll send you my information. Just give me a call if it comes across your plate. Mm-hmm. It's okay. Let's get on my back. Yep. That's fine. I mean, I wish I had it, but it's okay. Yep. Call me next time. Yeah, and I agree with you. And I think the one of the last like points to hit on about sales today is like the importance of actually tracking the metrics. Yes. Right? Like, having the data to back up like why you're doing what you're doing. And even though we're still a relatively small company, the amount of data that we have now, granted, we don't have all the softwares and like the stuff where you're spending tens of thousands of dollars a month on all this like data creation. We've built our own reporting systems, and it works great for us. It won't work forever, but it works great now. But everything as far as what our margins are on certain projects, or close rates on estimates being put out. I mean, all of our sales projections this year were backed up by data from last year. Like, how many estimates did we put out to get how many closed? Yeah. How many dollars in estimates did we put out to get how many dollars closed? Mm-hmm. And then what does that look like this year to meet our sales goal? Like, what do we have to do? And then every week I report on like, this is how far we are to our goal. Yep. And if we stopped estimating right now based off of our data, this is what we would actually close. Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It's been a weird year, but so you never freaking know. But nonetheless, having those systems in place to track it is super, super vital. And I know, like I said, there's more out there than what we use. So I'm sure somebody's listening to this right now that, that has a way better system in place, or has way more automation to it, which is great. If you have recommendations, shoot them over. But no, I mean, it's so important to have that. And I think that's something that has probably maybe, and you can kind of speak on it, has made it a little bit easier for you to kind of be like kind of put into or understand better like the sales and the numbers side of our company, is because of all the data that we actually keep track of. Right? Oh, yeah, it's easier for projections and forecasting too, and seeing where we're going to be at. So, which we're getting that under control too, forecasting. Yeah. But yeah, definitely. I mean, it helps. I guess just gauge what we've got going on. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I like it. It's a lot of work, a lot of numbers.
You're the number person. I can't do all that.
I do like some numbers. They make my life a little bit easier when I know them. So it's
yes, yeah. I understand that.
Well, it helps make data-based decisions, like data-driven decisions. I always tell people, try to take the emotion out of things as much as possible. It's not always possible, but as much as possible. And the more data you have, the less opportunity you have for emotion to get involved.
Because you can't fight it.
Exactly.
It's black and white. That's what it is.
Yep. That's exactly it. So
yeah, you can't fight anything about it.
Yeah. So
argue. Sorry, that's the word I wanted.
So to close this out today, we're wrapping up.
We're wrapping up.
Yeah. I need you.
Oh gosh.
To sell me this coaster.
Both of them?
Sell me both of them.
I mean, should we use the regular thing? Like with the pen?
Sell me the coaster.
Here, hold on. Can I have a cup? Hey, Randall, can I have a cup? Thanks. All right, so this is yours.
This is mine?
Yeah.
It's empty.
Pretend there's something in it.
Okay. I'll hold it very carefully then.
Yeah. Okay, you can't ruin this table, and you have tons of condensation on that cup right now, so you need a coaster. Here, you want it?
I'm not setting it down.
You have to.
Why?
Because you need your hands.
For what?
This is just what happens. I'm just kidding.
Jeez, who hired this girl?
You.
Me.
Myself.
No, I get it. It's I was
just
just messing with you.
You need a coaster?
No.
You want a coaster?
No.
You like a coaster?
No.
You're ruining your table.
That's fine.
All right. Well, you don't get your cup anymore.
So I just don't get a cup if I don't use a coaster.
That's how it goes.
Jeez. No, guys.
You steal it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that was forceful sales for you right there.
Yes.
But
we don't like it. See, chill.
Yeah, we want chill sales. But no, that was just like I said. It's sales has been a topic lately in various different scenarios we've been in, whether it's in our company, in like top contractor school. That's the topic right now. We're talking about is sales. It is the food of a company, right? Because if you don't have sales getting pumped into the company, if you don't have food going into your body, you have no fuel. Like there's nothing. Eventually, it'll just wither away. And so, I'm a firm believer in that. Every department in the company has its own unique purpose, just like every part of a body has its own unique purpose. But nonetheless, if the sales is not coming in the company, there's nothing to do. And, the company just can't exist in the long term. So it is something that we're trying to dial in a little bit more of here. Like I always tell you guys, I like to come on here and talk about things that we're currently working on, that we've currently, experienced or recently experienced. Because, I could sit here and recite all the shit that I've read out of books or listened to on podcasts, but nonetheless, like I want to talk about stuff that we're doing day in and day out. So as you guys can probably tell, we're still learning this, we're still figuring it out, but that's the whole, that's the game of business, is a constant evolution of figuring things out.
Like how to sell a coaster.
Yeah. You can see I don't have a coaster.
Yeah, you do. You bought it.
Well, Kels, I appreciate you joining me last minute on this for today. Hopefully that provided a little bit of value to you guys out there. Just things to maybe think about a little bit. I'm always open to any feedback. So critique whatever you want to critique, give advice on whatever you want to give advice on. But nonetheless, let me know your thoughts on it. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.